right. Well, I'm looking forward to doing another video here. Took last weekend off from a video. I was on a trip, but we're diving back into the charts, and just remember, this is for educational purposes. It's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Just kind of my ideas on the market. And so we're going to start out with Bitcoin on the weekly chart. Not much has changed, folks. The bullish structure, this uptrend that we've been in since December 2018 is still intact, and I still contend that this market is very much so offsides. The majority of the market seems to believe that we are in two camps, right? Whether we're just starting a new bull market that's going to extend into 2024, 2025, or this is just a bear market rally and we're headed down to new lows. In my mind, the market typically rewards the least amount of participants. And so, I don't think that the masses are going to be able to predict how this is going to end. And so in my mind, and just kind of back to what you've all heard me kind of talk about in the video in terms of defining trend first and foremost, right? That's what I'm looking to do. And this is a 30-week simple moving average that's up on the weekly chart. And this has been telling us a lot about where we are in terms of what stage of the market we're in, whether we're in a stage 2 uptrend, a stage 3 distribution, rejection of the 30 initiates this stage 4 downtrend into an accumulation, a Wyckoff type of accumulation structure. Google that if you're not familiar with Wyckoff and this spring event out of it, back into accumulation. And then I contend we have left accumulation, kind of retested that accumulation range. And now we are all patiently waiting for expansion if you're a bull. And that's what I believe is imminent. Why are we struggling here? Well, we're struggling. Look at that candle rejection right there at the downtrend that's been established since November of 2021. And so if we kind of look at this entire market and as it was one major downtrend, this is the highest time frame structural shift that's going to be occurring if it does here. And so definitely an important point in the market, and I suppose why we're meeting a lot of resistance and doubt at this point. But again, I'm expecting this to resolve to the upside and a final kind of 5th impulse of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move. This 3rd wave, I believe, is going to catch a lot of people by surprise. I really do. I don't think there are going to be a lot of good candle entries after it leaves this range into this 3rd impulse, and could see it getting up towards 100,000, if not more, prior to a correction and then final blow off top somewhere north of 160,000. Next, let's take a look at a lower time frame daily chart on Bitcoin. And why I like this one is it really tells us kind of what's going on the ground floor, right? And so if we just look at this simple uptrend that was initiated at the beginning of the year, it's pretty clean, right? You got a series of higher highs, and this market structure changed with this new higher high, right? We had a lower high here, we had a lower high here, we had a lower high here. So this was the downtrend. Market structure changed here, and then we had a higher low, and then we had expansion into a higher high, higher low, higher high in this consolidation, higher low, and then even zooming in a little bit further, we can see specific to what's going on right now, this micro consolidation that's been going on, it seems like forever, since June, the end of June. This market structure has changed. So we've got market structure changes going on in front of our eyes, and what do I define as a market structure change? Well, in this downtrend consolidation, you've got a lower high, you've got a lower high, and you've got a lower low, and you've got a lower low. On Tuesday, the 8th, we made a higher high, and now we're putting in a higher low. Not coincidentally, right at this breakout of this pennant structure. Let's throw on some EMAs, and we are just kind of consolidating right above all the short-term EMAs, right? The 5, 9, and the 20. And so kind of similar to what we were seeing down here, right? Is these, typically in these reversals, you see, you've got your first attempt, right, with a fairly strong candle, and this is a hammer type candle. You got your first attempt here, and then you've got the big candle that gets through most of them. Consolidation, and then it goes. Here looks a little different, right? You've got that big candle that kind of got through everything. We've been consolidating really above all of these short-term EMAs, and so that's how I'm kind of approaching the daily time frame. So what is next? Let's take a look at this one that I posted earlier today. Correlation between Bitcoin, the Nasdaq, and the dollar. And if we are really just trying to keep things really, really simple, I'm not a big fan of narratives, right? The whole 4-year cycle narrative with Bitcoin, I'm not buying it. I think that's information that's been known to the market participants for a long time, and investors are smarter than us. Savvy investors are smarter than you and I, and it would be too easy if the retail folks just said it's every 4 years and could time the market. I just don't see things that working out that way. What I do see, however, is a lot of correlation between risk assets, the Nasdaq, the beta of the Nasdaq, which has been Bitcoin in the past, and the dollar. If we look at the dollar going back to February 2018, you got a clear uptrend. What was happening during this clear uptrend in the dollar? Well, you had Bitcoin go through a correction, right? Correction. Can't quite get out of this, bearish market structure of lower highs, and then it breaks out of this market structure and it goes parabolic. What did the Nasdaq do? Correction, consolidation, above it, capitulation, and then it goes. And not coincidentally, right, where the dollar's trend was broken and then it retested the underside of the breakout or the breakdown and initiated its new trend, was when these trends were very clearly evident, right? And so what do we have going on in July of 2021? A new trend was initiated with the dollar, right? This downtrend was broken, a new trend emerged, and it went parabolic at the end, a move that we haven't seen in a long time on the dollar. What happened with Bitcoin and the Nasdaq? Well, the Nasdaq, kind of a distribution top, reversal. Bitcoin, very similar, distribution, top, correction, reversal, downtrend, and then market structure clearly changed, right? It clearly changed here. Nasdaq market structure clearly changed here. And what do I mean the market structure changed? Other than the obvious downtrend getting broken, retested, and it going, we see the dollar have a clear break of this parabola, right? Underside retest, and then directionally now moving into downtrend. And so in these downtrends, you do have counter trend rallies, which we're kind of experiencing right now. Could even get up to 103 and 104, wouldn't shock me. But in my mind, the clearest way to zoom out and keep things simple is looking at these relationships. The past is no guarantee what's going to happen in the future. So just because we had these moves here is not guaranteed we're going to have these moves here, okay? Just because this happened here and this happened here does not mean it's going to happen. These are just my views on how I think things are going to play out. I happen to feel like these moves are not going to be similar. I think this eventually is going to be steeper than we saw here. This was more distributive. I think we're going to have some type of parabola on the Nasdaq, and I think we're going to have a much more pronounced blow off top on Bitcoin. So I think that they aren't going to be the same in perhaps the way that the least amount of folks are expecting. All right, let's go to SPY next. And with SPY, we've been tracking this one for a while. I've got an arrow on a candle that shows us how this market structure changed back in March 2022 with this bearish looking candle. Did test that 30-week, but then the following week we failed. Underside rejection, and this market then from this point, from this candle, really confirmed this downtrend. Why do I say that? This is a lower high that was confirmed, right? Confirmed lower high here, lower lows. And that initiated this downtrend. Downtrend was changed in 2023, right? We can see that reclaim of the 30. And now we're on to what I believe is this final impulse, the final impulsive leg of this bull market we've been in for many years. And, you know, not to say that this couldn't come down a little bit further to 438. But I think this correction is either in or close to being in prior to getting up to all-time highs sometime within the next month or two, and then expecting a correction and then final into a blow-off top type of scenario. That's just how I'm viewing the market. The Dow Jones, a very bullish looking structure. I've been tracking this all the way back. I posted on Twitter on this day, March 13th, that this was kind of like make or break moment for the Dow Jones. And my views were still very much bullish, but we needed to make a move a decisive move at this level. And we did, right? And just such a symmetrical look at, you know, markets don't repeat, but they often rhyme. And so, you know, we've got this flagging structure and then a flag over the flag, and then it broke out. And this to me just looks like it's in breakout mode, right? Not to say that this is a straight line, but this entire area of price action was broken above. And I'm looking at the next move as being expansion. All right, let's look at next. We've got gold. Gold, you know, is again not something I have a high level of conviction in, as I've been kind of noting as soon as I started charting gold for you guys. I just kind of see this as a big channel that it's been in since early 2000s, right? Right now, if we're zooming in on the weekly time frame, you know, we've got this flag type of structure, triple top. What I did like the last time I posted about gold was you have, you know, very clear action around this 30-week when market structure shifted, right? You made a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low, but we're struggling with this 30-week, right? And so, you know, I don't have a lot of confidence in this move. However, if we get, you know, reclaimed here and we're back over, you know, 1982 with a weekly close, I then have a lot more confidence about gold continuing to make its move at a minimum. You know, looking at somewhere in the neighborhoods of 3,000 by next summer would not surprise me at all, based on how I'm viewing this macro chart. All right, what do we have next? Let's go to the dollar. The dollar has been quite complex. This correction has been quite complex. And so if we're throwing up these Bollinger Bands and looking at this on a weekly time frame, this is the range that I've had the dollar in since 2017. Just this macro range. We went parabolic out of it, big deviation out of it, and then got back in it, and we're just right underneath the top of this range, right? And the way I've kind of redrawn this bearish triangle correction has us under kind of testing the underside of it. Let's see what the 30-week is doing. And 30-week tells me we are in a downtrend. However, we closed above it. So for what that's worth, you know, this correction just looks complex, but I fully expect resumption to the bottom in this range towards the end of the year. The path there just is not very clear to me. What is clear to me is during this corrective phase here, very similar to what we're seeing in this corrective phase back here in July of 2020, or even October of 2020, right? And maybe those are more appropriate at this point, given the complexity of these corrections. But what did Bitcoin do from November 2017, October 2017 to January? It had its parabolic fifth wave blow off top. What did Bitcoin do from October, November 2020 through February of 2021? We had that nice. We went from around what 12,000 to 60,000, something like that. So either way, whether we're closer to being down here or closer to being somewhere in that range from a structural point of view, my expectation is still for the Nasdaq and Bitcoin to drastically outperform in this environment. All right, what do we have next? Actually, let me see if I can pull up ETHBTC. This isn't one I've shared on the video, but I am going to today. This is just a weekly chart of ETHBTC. I view this as just this massive pendant type structure. And there's nothing bearish about this to me. What would be bearish would be it continuously rejecting kind of off this area and breaking down, but it just refuses to break down. This is just, if we think about this as like a 15-minute chart, you know, I love to do that exercise. It's a magnet up against this area. And that to me is bullish. This isn't bullish. That's clear rejection, right? Clear rejections. And this is just kind of hugging along that range. So if and when it does break out of this structure, I'm expecting some outperformance on the part of ETH. Let's go to ETH real quick. And not much has changed in terms of the way I'm looking at ETH. Well, one update from this week, that 30-week simple moving average was successfully tested, as we can see down here. That's a good sign. Just massive, you know, double bottom Adam and Eve structure, you know, accumulation breakout back here, retests this breakout area, and then it's gone. This is just a fractal from back here. I don't know if this is going to be the path, or even if we get this type of expansion, but just to show you, you know, what the market looked like prior to this move is very similar to what the market looks like prior to whatever move comes next. So no guarantee this is going to happen, but this would not shock me in the least to see, you know, ETH over $10,000 sometime before Q1 of next year. Yields, I don't do a lot with yields because I'm not a yield expert, and but a lot of talk about yields, and so I'm going to talk about yields. If I look at a weekly chart, I don't have a lot of clarity in terms of the move, right? I just don't. We made a high here on the 10-year at 4.356. We're taking another run at those highs. That's what this chart is telling me. We're taking another run at those highs. What's the momentum behind this move telling me? And I've got Bollinger Bands up here as well, right? The momentum behind the move is lower, is less. There's less force behind this move than back in October. So can we take out these highs? Sure. Sure we can. Is the force behind this move greater than, equal to, or less than the force behind the move that we saw in October? As of right now, it's less than. Not to say that can't change, but let's say we get a top, or, you know, this takes a run at equal highs, whatever, and we make a lower low on the RSI, our relative strength index is telling us that we've got a bearish type of divergence there. And so the long-term move I'm expecting in yields is down. But short-term, anything can happen. But I thought I would share that with you as well. Last two charts. This is money supply from all the money M2s around the globe, right? All the big ones. And so when we look at money supply this way, I keep on hearing, we heard for so often QT narrative a lot last year. Well, it doesn't look like a lot of QT going on right there. Last month we broke all-time high in terms of global liquidity. And so this just looks to be consolidating to me. Does it mean it's going to break out above? No, but the structure looks like it's consolidating, and the past isn't a guarantee, but our past has shown us consolidating structures have broken out. Consolidating structures have broken out. Where we are right now in terms of the amount of money in the world in circulation is equal to that of what we saw in February of 2022. So when folks say there's not enough money to do this or that or for risk assets, well, what was the price of Bitcoin in February 2022? Let's take a look. I think it was around 48,000. February 2022, 43,000, 40,000. Okay. So that's interesting. Last but not least, we've got the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq most certainly has taken a few weeks to correct. Again, folks, this is a heck of a move, right? Let's not lose the forest through the trees here, right? So off the lows, 43%, right? And so literally, what do we just retrace? 6%, 5%? Yeah, right around there. Almost 6%. So nothing's going to go up in a straight line, right? Nothing's going to go up in a straight line. But this is the 30-week. We are in a healthy uptrend, in my opinion, and continue to be in that healthy uptrend. My expectation prior to any major correction, because this isn't a major correction, this is a minor correction, would be getting us past all-time highs sometime in the next month or two. And then, once everyone gets bullish, maybe a good little flush prior to getting up and over 20,000 on the Nasdaq. I hope that was helpful. I hope you guys have a great weekend and look forward to continue doing these in the future.